Minasan ohayou gozaimasu, it's Cruz-sensei, and today we are going to be discussing the grammar point toki. This is grammar point number 4 in lesson 16 of volume 2 of the Genki textbook series. So we use the word toki to describe when something happens or has happened. The general sentence structure we're going to follow here is sentence A, toki, sentence B. In English, this would translate to when A, B. Sentence A is going to be our time reference, whereas sentence B is the main event, the main shebang that's going on here. The sentence A, you'll notice, always ends with a short form, either in the present tense or the past tense. You can decide which tense to use in A by doing a simple thought experiment. Place yourself at the time the main event B takes place, and imagine how you would describe the event in A. If A is current or is yet to happen, you're going to use present tense A. If A has already taken place, you'll use the past tense. To start, let's discuss the present tense in A. So if at the time the main event B takes place, A is current or is still in the future, you're going to use the present tense. Let's check out the example that we have here. I will get the visa issued when I go to Tibet. Cool. Let's figure out which one is our time reference, which one is our main event. Going to Tibet is our time reference, when I go to Tibet. The main event that's going to take place is having the visa issued. So that's going to be our last part here. So I'll read the sentence slowly at first, then I'll speed it up. So, チベットに行くとき、ビザを取ります. When I go to Tibet, I will get the visa issued. A little faster this time. チベットに行くとき、ビザを取ります. I will get that visa issued when I go to Tibet. Note that as long as the event A occurs after the event B, the clause A gets the present tense, iku, irrespective of the tense in clause B, which is torimasu or torimashita. In the example that we have down here, the whole sentence of events has been shifted to the past. And we're actually going to zoom in on that just so you can get a good idea of what we have going here. So at the time you applied for the visa, B, the departure, A, was yet to be realized. The temporal order between the two events is exactly the same as in the example up here, hence the present tense of iku. Note especially that we use present tense in A even if the two events took place in the past. So before we went from, I will get the visa issued when I go to Tibet, to I had the visa issued when I was going to Tibet. So a couple of things that we can notice here with this. We have different things that are going on within here. So for example, let's get rid of this guy here. We're gonna get zoomed on in. All right, looks like that one doesn't want to cooperate with me. That's okay, we'll roll with it. So I will get the visa issued when I go to Tibet. Everything here is still in present tense. Nothing's getting too crazy. Now let's look down here. I had the visa issued when I was going to Tibet. A lot of stuff has been shifted into past tense. But here's the thing. Notice that we're still using that ikutoki here. That's still going to be taking place because of that temporal order between the two events being the same. That's why we still have this as iku and not ita. Okay? Alrighty. So let's move on to our next part here. Let's look at some more examples that we have of this tense combination. I take out the contact lenses when I go to sleep. So notice that we're starting with neru. So obviously it's not going to be I sleep and take out my contacts. I'm already going to snooze town at that point, so there's no reason for me to go and reach into my eyeballs to take out my contact lenses. That's ridiculous. We're not going to do that. So we're just trying to express that at the time of going to sleep, when I'm getting ready to go to sleep, I will take out my contacts. So you take out the contacts and then you go to bed. So neru toki, that's the time reference. That is when it is time for me to take out my contact lenses because it's bedtime. Kontakto o torimasu. And then we'll look at our next one here. I locked the door when I went out. You locked the door and then went out. So it's not going to be, all right, peace out. I'm heading out. I'm going to go to the mall. And when I'm already out and about on the town, I go back home and lock my door. that would make a lot of sense to say that. So obviously it's going to be, I have the plan of going out. I'm going to go do the thing, make it happen, captain. So with that, I close my door, I lock my door, and then I have a night out on the town. Yee-haw. So that would become, 出かけるとき、ドアに鍵をかけました. So I locked the door, got that done, then I'm heading out. Okay? Now, clause A also gets the present tense when the state of A holds when the B event takes place. So I call up my friends when I'm lonely. So we're going to check that out here. The time reference, what is the condition of which I'm going to be calling my friends in this case? When I'm feeling lonely, when I got the sads. So, 寂しいとき、友達に電話します. At the time of feeling sad and lonely, I'm going to call up my buddy, because calling my buddy will make me feel better. Something to notice here, if you are ever going to be using na adjectives with this kind of grammar point, you are going to keep the na in your na adjective. And nouns would get no before toki. So let's look here. We have another example. This time we're still going to be using our e adjective. So, 寒い時, when it is cold, 頭が痛くなります. My head starts to hurt. I get a headache. And we're going to check that out in some other ways here. So, when I feel fit, when I feel energetic, I'm feeling healthy, let's hit it up. 元気な時、公園を走ります. I'm going to go to the park. How am I interacting with the park? I'm going to be jogging right through that park like it's nobody's business. So I jog in the park when I feel fit, when I feel healthy, energetic. 元気な時、公園を走ります. My pupper isn't feeling super hot. He's feeling a little gross. So he's not doing super great, so I'm going to go and take him to the vet so he can get checked out. The time reference here is going to be when my dog was sick, we're going to go to the vet. So, 犬が病気の時、病院に連れて行きました. At the time that my dog had an illness, at the time that my dog was feeling sick, I took my dog, it says here to the hospital, but you can obviously assume that I'm not going to take my dog to a human hospital. I'm going to be taking him to the vet. Now let's go more into the past tense. If at the time of the main event B, A is already in the past, use the past tense in A. Note that we use the past tense even when the two events are yet to take place. It is the order of the two that makes sense, or that matters in this case. In the example below, you will have already arrived in China at the time you buy tea. So, arrive in China is going to be our time reference. Buying tea is going to be our main event. I will buy oolong tea when I go to China. We just talked about that going to China is going to be our time event. Buying the oolong tea is going to be our main event. 中国に行った時、ウーロン茶を買います. So, when I go to China, I have already arrived in China. Yo, what's up? Hanging out in China. That is afterwards when I'm going to be buying that oolong tea. Now, if I want to specify that both have occurred in the past, so I went to China and I bought the oolong tea. 中国に行った時、ウーロン茶を買いました. So I'm telling a story about like, oh yeah, I went to China and I bought tea. Whereas the other one we're saying, oh hey, I'm in China now. This is really cool. And my plan after I have arrived in China is going to be buying that sweet oolong tea. I actually have no idea if oolong tea is sweet or not. You can let me know. Now let's go and do another example here. I take a long bath when I've gotten tired. So this could happen in a couple of different ways. I could say I took a long bath and I got tired, maybe because the water was warm and relaxing and stuff. Or I can express, oh, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm sore, so I'm going to take a long bath to help remedy that. So with that, if we're going to be saying I'm tired, and because of that, I'm going to take a long bath. So, 疲れた時、ゆっくりお風呂に入ります. So, I got tired, I'm feeling poopy, then I'm going to go take a nice bath. Now let's look here. I cried when I had forgotten to bring the homework. Oh, that's relatable for a lot of my students. So, what's the reason I'm crying? I'm not going to cry and then go, ah! I forgot my homework. That seems a little strange. Rather, it's going to be, I forgot my homework. Ah! So with that being said, we are going to express that forgetting to bring the homework or forgetting about the homework is going to be our time reference. The main event, the main shebang that's going to go on is I'm going to cry like a small baby. So let's look here if I were to go and translate this into Japanese. So, 宿題を忘れた時, at the time of forgetting my homework, 泣いてしまいました. Sorry, I'm thinking about my own students and how this would probably occur with some of them. So, again, let's go and look at our time reference. 宿題を忘れた時, at the time of forgetting my homework, 泣いてしまいました. I had cried. So that is going to do it for this grammar point. I do want to go and show off a couple of examples that I have here. So let me go and pull those up for us. And this is going to be my challenge to you. So, something that I would like for you to try, if you want to try this in the comments or if you just want to message me about it, is try to come up with your own sentences by finishing what we have here. So, when I go to school, blah, blah, blah. When I cut my hair, blah, blah, blah. When it was cold, blah, blah, blah. Now you can look at these. Notice that I'm saying when, action. When, action. You can probably take a wild guess as this is going to be our time reference in this case. And then I would like for you to try to come up with your own endings at the end to see what you come up with. Well, that just about covers it for this. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this proves to be useful, and I hope you have a lovely day.